Love is Blind, season 7. I don't know who's getting married at this point. So much happened that I have to give y'all episode 10 in a review all by itself because it was nuts. Let's get to the foolishness. Episode 10 was titled The Text from an Ex. Let's start off at the beginning. Okay, so boom, there are 13 days left until the weddings. What couple do we see first? We see Nick and Hannah, my least favorite. Are they my least favorite? Yes, they're my least favorite couple, and that is because of Hannah. It could have easily been an enjoyable date. It was a photo shoot. They actually looked beautiful in the pictures. They look good together. But once you see them in real life and you see the way she treats this man, she has no respect for him. Even something that's supposed to be playful, she finds a way to pick at him. She picks at him because of her own insecurities. That's just my opinion. Moving right along. Then the next couple we get to is Ramses and Marissa. It starts off with Marissa and Ramses on the balcony of their apartment. They look stressed out, like they've had yet another heavy conversation. So then they go into the kitchen. Marissa goes to the restroom. She comes back. She just wanted to squash everything and start making breakfast together. But Ramses is like, hey, I see that you're trying to cover up. I know that you're not okay. Let's talk about this. What has been going on with you? I've been trying to be affectionate with you. You've said no to me. You haven't wanted me to touch you. Is this a random occurrence, or is this something that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of our lives? Marissa eventually tells him, I'm really tired. My vitamin D is low. I've been traveling back and forth. It's just a lot. Now, pause. I did respect the fact that Marissa was very transparent in that moment in saying that her vitamin D levels were low. It also appeared that she's PMSing as well. They have only been together a short period of time. It has not even been a month. So now Ramses is having to experience for the first time ever with Marissa how she responds when she's PMSing. She doesn't want to be touched. She feels like she's overstimulated. I get it. And this is something that he'll become more and more accustomed to the longer they're together. Being that they have such a short period of time, this caught him off guard. But she brings up a great point in saying, okay, so are you going to be able to deal with that? I'm not saying this is a permanent thing, but women's bodies go through a lot of changes.
Did you know, there's a high percentage of men when their wives get cancer, they cheat on them?
Your health becomes an issue that I'm gonna want to go elsewhere.
Yeah, that's gonna be an issue for you. And not even that extreme, postpartum when you have kids. There's periods before you have the kid, you're not wanna be affectionate. Maybe after you have a kid. This is probably gonna come up multiple times in our relationship. Is this gonna be an issue for you?
That's a fair question, yeah.
That's
a big thing, yeah.
all right, it's fine.
Ramses is making it seem like he'll be able to deal with this. He understands. I don't think he quite understood because he still went up behind her and gave her a hug. And she just said that she felt overstimulated and she didn't want to be touched. But I don't know. Maybe they just have to work together as a couple and find a good compromise because Jesus, that entire conversation was stressing me out. Nevertheless, let's move on to the next. Alex and Tim, Tim and Alex. It is time for Alex to meet Tim's parents. Remember, they already met Alex's parents and it went great. Alex, on the other hand, maybe it's just me, but I was so offended by the fact that she hugged his mama and his daddy with one hand. How do you hug somebody and still have one hand in your other pocket? That makes no sense to me. I thought that was so rude. I thought that basically said, I don't really want to hug you, but I'm going to just do this, because I know it's expected out of me. She had low energy. I'm like, what time is it? Did you just wake up? No, you're fully dressed. The smiles and all that, she didn't have a big bright smile. It wasn't a, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to meet you. Guys are going to be my in-laws. None of that energy was there. It was the total opposite of when Tim met her parents. And I just wonder if he would have had that same energy, if she would have been okay with that because I was getting irritated watching her. Oddly enough, Tim, we find out from this scene with his parents and Alex, is that Tim is a lot like his mother. His mother does most of the talking. She's giving Alex actually really great advice as to how to deal with Tim. And sometimes, if he's upset, just let him have his space, let him clear his mind. She knows these things because he's just like her. And she knows that that can be stressful in a marriage. At some point after this meeting of the parents, Tim goes outside with his parents and talks to them alone. But Alex doesn't, which I thought was very strange because most of the time, the significant other has times to talk to one or both of the parents on their own. But Alex obviously didn't care about that. Either way, Alex is no longer in the picture. Tim is outside talking to his parents, and immediately he starts addressing some of his concerns because they don't have the same type of humor. They can't laugh and talk with each other, which, duh, because in the pods, all they did was trauma bond. They didn't spend any time laughing and getting to know each other. And those are the types of things that will help sustain you because you have to have an actual connection. You have to like each other as individuals, not just have some type of lust and commitment towards each other. No. Whatever the case, I just don't see it for this couple, but more to come with them as the episode continues. But for now, I'm going to put them on ice and I'm going to get to Ashley and Tyler because they left us on a cliffhanger in episode 9. We come to find out that Ashley has left for a while, gathered her thoughts, and now she's come back to the apartment so that she can speak to Tyler. This has been a lot for her. It's been a long day. She looking at the dog like, why you look sad? I should be the one that's stressed out. But then Tyler goes on to explain to her where these sperm babies came from.
The first step starts with knowing more about that dynamic.
Yeah. I had a very close friend, her and her wife wanted to have a baby, and they couldn't afford a sperm donor. I thought that was God telling me, help someone else. And it felt good.
Do the kids know what you look like?
I don't think so.
Really, Tyler? Really? Because there's a such thing as the internet and TikTok, and how did you not think that that information was going to come out?
Well, I guess the only thing we can do is take it hour by hour.
So we'll try.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll give it a try.
Now, if I'm totally honest, I think that Tyler is full of it. He says he donated his sperm. So was this like a donation at a local center or was this a ghetto donation? Meaning that you just hooked up with the person that was going to carry the child 3 times. You got her pregnant and that was your sperm donation. Because those are the types of questions that I need answers to. I have heard of people in real life doing these ghetto sperm donations. Basically, you are out there making kids and then saying like, look, that ain't mine. You wanted to have a kid, you can have it. And this is for you and your significant other. But I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm glad I helped you out. Meanwhile, 7, 10, 12 years later, you could be hit with a gang of back child support because you were stupid enough to think that a ghetto sperm donation is a thing. Whatever the case, all I look at him as is a liar because just like Ashley said, he should have disclosed this in the pods, period. So now every single scene where I see Tyler, every time he talks, I'm like, oh, well, what about your 3 kids? Oh, just like you lied about them kids? Oh, but didn't you say the kids didn't see you? Oh, you got your nerve because you didn't tell her about them babies. Like, so that's why I have to move on from Tyler. I'm highly disappointed, but Ashley, she just seems like she's going to be okay with it at this point. So we'll see how their story continues to unfold. Moving right along. Netflix lets us know there's 11 days left until the weddings. We get to a cute little date with Garrett and Taylor, the only solid couple at this point, and they are on a calligraphy writing date. They are doing a calligraphy date because They want to have a letter writing station at their wedding. They took the letters from Taylor's grandparents, the love letters, and they both found a line in the letter that resonated with them personally. She writes hers in calligraphy, Garrett writes his, and they will have it as examples sitting up in front of their letter writing station. So I thought that that was absolutely beautiful. Anywho, let's get to the annoying couple, Nick and Hannah. Now, Nick and Hannah had a supposed to be fun date. It was actually gravity ropes. Now, the entire time, Hannah is looking at Nick like he's pathetic. She's laughing at him, and Nick is nervous and scared. He's shaking, he's unsure. And I can tell y'all from personal experience, I have done gravity ropes at main event, and gravity ropes are not easy if it's not something that you do often. Obviously, Hannah has done it several times, but it's fun once you get through it. But it's a little weird walking on logs in the air. Whatever the case, once they get down from the gravity ropes, Nick is like, oh man, I feel like my stomach is about to fall out. He's having a good time. But Hannah always has to ruin a good moment.
I want you to be like an active listener, an active partner. I don't want to have to always have to be the first one to start a deep conversation or initiate sex. I think it's all about initiative. When we're in the pause and we're talking about how much I read, and you're like, I would love to read. Have you read?
I haven't had a chance to.
Okay.
When I have free time,
Yeah.
maybe last night instead of going to watch the game, I could have read. But
Yeah. Priorities, right?
they're little things, right? Sometimes I feel like you do think I'm maybe sometimes a level below you. You know what I mean? I just want to be treated as an equal.
I think you get treated like an equal when you start contributing like an equal.
At this point, I hate watching their scenes because I feel like she demeans this man. She talks down on him. She speaks to him like he's a child, and he just takes this beating and takes it and takes it and takes it and takes it. I feel sorry for Nick. I am thinking the cameraman and the producers, they don't feel bad for him. They're not giving him a nudge hey man, don't let her talk to you like that. But let me get off of them before I get a whole attitude. Okay, this review is supposed to be lighthearted. Let's move on to Marissa and Ramses. Last time we seen them on screen, they had conflict. Now we see them on screen and they are smiling. And this is the emotional roller coaster that we are constantly on with Ramses and Marissa. They are in their bedroom at the apartment and they are doing wedding planning together. Marissa wants her wedding theme to be boho glam. After they have that conversation, he asks her, so how are you feeling?
Obviously, sick of my period, so I'm back to my normal energy level. You know where I stand on affection and...
I think we gotta figure that out too.
Oh, we did.
We figured that out quickly.
Yes.
Which is good.
Now you know, once a month.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Do you have any doubts right now about us making it to the end and getting married?
I don't have any major doubts or anything. I think what I have right now is just the normal. There's still stuff to plan. There's still stuff to figure out.
Yeah.
I have those nerves.
Yeah.
But in terms of big picture, doubts or things that I'm concerned about that would potentially make me
Derail us. Yeah.
Derail us? No.
By the way he answered that, I feel like he has some reservations. I feel like he will make it to the altar, but he would definitely be the one to not hesitate to say, I can't do this, and give her a hug and say, I love you. It's been great. But then he don't get out of Dodge because her mother is crazy. So we'll see how this goes. Then we get to the scene of all scenes in this episode. This scene alone is the reason why I had to do a review all by itself. This scene with Tim and Alex. When we see Tim walk into their apartment and he sits on the couch, he has a very serious face. Alex gets her food out of the microwave and it's full of chicken and whatever else. She said, I haven't ate all day. He said, that's fine. I need to talk to you when you have a moment. Okay, because this ain't looking good. So she says, oh, you want me to come sit down there right now? He was like, if you would like. I'm like, Tim, check your attitude. Obviously, he has a handful to say to her. Alex is very calm. They sit on the couch, and the way this conversation began.
Okay.
Some things happened in regards to my parents that I didn't really appreciate. I understood you were sleepy, but my parents drove up here 10 hours to meet you. And as soon as the cameras cut, you decided to go to sleep at the first opportunity. These are the most important people in my life. And the choice you made in that moment was to go to sleep.
Okay.
And to me, it is telling,
Okay.
because that's just not a choice that I would ever make.
Okay.
I do believe that Alex was extremely rude when it came to meeting his parents. Alex should not have went to sleep on his parents. Did she even let them know, like, hey, I've had a really long day. If you don't mind, I'm just gonna take a really quick nap and maybe we could grab something to eat after that? If she didn't say that and she just went to sleep, then I understand Tim being upset.
I was exhausted. I like to take my naps. We talked for hours about you, about what I would be to them as a vessel, as someone to lean on. If it really meant that to you, I would have stayed up.
I had been trying to communicate with you all day during the day.
Can I just stop you right there?
Sure.
You're saying you were trying to contact me all day. I talked to you 3 times yesterday.
They should have had some of these conversations in the pod. If they didn't spend so much time trauma bonding with each other, they could have spent more time getting to know each other. How do you feel about talking on the phone? How do you feel about texting? How do you feel about meeting the parents? What are expectations that you have out of a significant other? Why didn't they have all of these conversations? Because if they would have had these conversations, they would not have ever made it to an engagement or reveal. Cabo, definitely not an apartment together.
I don't appreciate that.
Would you like me to tell my side of the story? And
But
then
I
you
don't
can speak,
appreciate
or-
that. That's not true.
Well, can I tell my truth
Go
and
ahead.
then you speak yours?
Go ahead.
Is that a possibility?
Absolutely.
All right, so
That was condescending. He should have stopped right there. His tone, are you gonna let me speak? Like, for somebody like me, we can just end the conversation right there because you're not gonna speak down to me. Alex was physically there. You could tell she was taking deep breaths and she was staying calm. She was remaining calm.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal to go to sleep for an hour. I really didn't. But if it meant something, you have to just say that. You never said anything. I cannot read your mind. You want me to be this person that is your wife, but I can't be doing everything by the book unless you tell me. You have to communicate that. I am ready to listen. I'm trying to understand you. You have to admit it is not the same from when we were in the pods. And I'm not saying it's all on you, and I'm not saying it's all on me. It's both of us. These are such little things. I am trying my hardest.
I am telling you, Alex is not perfect, but Tim is a lot to deal with, a whole lot.
I have to be honest with myself that the answer between you and I, for me, is no.
Okay. All right. I mean, if your mind is made up, I have many words to say on what you're saying.
I'm here to listen if you would like to, but
Are
that
you listening just to hear, or are you listening as an open mind to move forward?
I'm always listening to understand.
I mean, is your mind made up?
That is what I said, yes.
Okay. All right, cool.
Now, the truth of the matter is the way that Tim was speaking to her, he been not liking her. Let's just be honest. Let's be real. The look he had on his face in Cabo when he was looking like, I don't want to be here. This is supposed to be our last conversation. That's the same look that he has in this breakup scene.
I woke up at 8 in the morning and went to the grocery store and had to hunt down a bunch of stuff, seasoned meat. If you sat here and grilled a whole meal for my whole family and I come back to dishes in the sink, I'm not gonna ask you to do the dishes. I'm probably just gonna do them. There is no scenario that I see myself standing there and saying yes to making you my wife forever. And with that in mind, I'm glad we can at least agree that I don't ever wanna see you again.
Alex, this man had been up all day and did everything for your family. More than anything, as a fiance, you should have been like, I got these dishes. Don't worry about it. You did all this hard work. Bravo. I love you even more now. Alex does not think that way. Alex don't even think to clean her own place. Did you think she was going to clean the dishes? I personally think He stopped liking her even more so after he saw her apartment. And I'm just being honest. I think a lot of things turned him off. And now at this point, he's able to speak to her the way that he does. And he's like, I don't ever want to see you again, because he been stopped liking her. And she is not the person that he imagined her to be in his head when they were trauma bonding in the pods. That is just my 2 cents, and it is what it is. Moving right along. We see a bunch of quick scenes with all of the couples getting their Amazon packages, pulling costumes out of it, and it looks like they're going for a Great Gatsby theme. Everybody is getting dressed up for this because the pod squad is going to meet up. As the party begins, it is at a bar. We see all the couples inside except for Taylor and Garrett. I told y'all, the episode title was The Text from an Ex. Why was it Garrett's ex? Yes, the person you would least expect. Garrett and Taylor are outside because Taylor has just found out an hour ago that Garrett's ex texted him and she is up in arms.
I saw it this morning. I didn't know how to react. I just liked the message, and then I literally did not think about it the rest of the day. She isn't anything to me anymore.
I know, but it's just, I know that it's not part of your life, but I do want you to think about, like, how would this make me feel?
I know, I hear that 100%.
Yes, especially as someone who has been cheated on, is putting an incredible amount of faith in you and, like, believing and, like, trusting you completely. You're gonna be married in, like, a week.
Now, what I liked about Taylor is that she is very direct in her communication. She said, I want to be very clear that if any other women from your past are trying to talk to you and reach out to you, you are immediately shutting that down. You're not leaving it open for interpretation. We can table it for now and go into this party and have a good time, but I'm not happy. We'll put it on ice for now, but we're going to talk about it. Cool. So they get inside. Smiles. Everything's all good. The girls are happy to see each other. The guys are happy. The girls are at a table all by themselves. We see Tim walk in without Alex, of course. Then we see Alex walk in alone. The entire party did not make eye contact with each other. They didn't speak not once. When Tim said he never wants to see her again, he was dead serious. Nevertheless, the girls are talking to each other at the table, and Alex is explaining to them, look, it is one thing that he decided to end the relationship. That's fine. But what I don't respect, the fact that he shook my father's hand. He got him extra emotional just for 2 days to go by, and then he just gives it all up like that. For what? I think he's a coward. I'm like, girl, tell the truth and shame the devil. Both of y'all were very miserable, and we're all happy that you've moved on. Moving right along to the next conversation. Ashley and the girls look over at the guys' table, and Ashley is like, man, I hope they're not talking about my drama. The girls was like, girl, what had happened? Ashley was like, oh my gosh, I didn't tell y'all. Tyler got kids. Yep, they're sperm babies. The girls is like, shut up, you lying. It's like, yeah, he was trying to help out a couple. They were like, he really should have told you this beforehand. She said, I know, like that was not right. But the bad part about it is that, like, I really love this man. Like, he fights for me like no man has ever fought for me before. He is just everything. He could be gone for an hour and I have this deep, like, emptiness, like when he's not around. And I'm like, Tyler, he went fishing, he hooked her, and he reeled her in, and then he revealed the information about the 3 sperm babies because he knew at this point, I got her. She ain't going nowhere. We can see in this scene, Ashley, she ain't going nowhere. So she may as well just not even talk about it or complain about it anymore. Either way, their conversation is interrupted because Monica walks in. Y'all remember Monica. When Monica walks in, although she's no longer engaged to Steven, she lets the girls know, oh, I just spoke with Steven today, actually. I called him and we had about a 2-hour conversation, just really trying to understand him and, make sure he's okay. But he's good. We're good. We're not together. No. But he's a good person. And I'm like, Monica, I don't understand her. Okay, whatever. Next thing you know, we look up and Bodan walks in. As you know, Bodan used to date Marissa in the pod. So she's looking curious like, oh, that's Bodan? So we know at some point in this party they're going to talk, right? Let me just fast forward through their part. They end up talking and she realizes, oh, that's the homie. I definitely was good in picking Ramses because there were no sparks between her and Bodan. Cool. So back to the present moment. We get Katie. Katie walks into the party. Now, Katie was also dating Nick in the pods. Katie and Nick were each other's number one for the first 3 days until Katie dropped him. That's how Hannah became Nick's number one. The interesting part about this is that Hannah and Katie are now really good friends. Hannah is so excited to see Katie walk in. Katie is a tall blonde. I believe she's 35 or 36. She has a lot of energy. The odd part about it is that as soon as she walks in, Hannah goes up to her and Hannah was like,
oh, do you want to meet Nick? Yeah. Nick, this is Katie.
Hello. Katie. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I know, this is like a little surreal.
I've never met Katie before. See, I thought you were tall. We did have a connection.
So cute. Nick?
Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
He's better looking in person.
Oh, good looking in person?
Yeah. I mean that in the nicest way.
No, it's totally cool.
I don't know why Hannah set herself up to be disappointed. And if you look at Hannah's face, her face says it all. She's uncomfortable with it. Nevertheless, the party continues on. We see two couples having a chat with each other. It is Taylor and Garrett and Ashley and Tyler. They're listening to Garrett talk, and I guess they decided to talk about the ex texting him and how he responded to the text and let the ex know, hey, I'm in a relationship now. I'm actually engaged, so we probably shouldn't talk anymore, but have a nice life. So Taylor was like, hold on, what? Excuse me, pause. You never said that before. Why is your story changing?
This is different.
I said, okay.
Okay, well, let me see your phone. What did you say?
It's over there. I can go get it, but can I get it later? I can get it if you'd like.
You told me an hour ago that you only liked the message, and now you're saying that you responded to this objectively connective reach out, something else, not just I liked it and left it. I just want to be very clear. So
Yeah, I didn't just, no, I wrote a response.
That's not what you just told me an hour ago.
Now, me personally, when he told the truth unknowingly to Taylor in front of Tyler and Ashley, I don't know if he had a few drinks in his system, so he was just speaking freely and he was saying what actually happened. His story was different. Now, if the truth was, I actually did respond to her and say I'm engaged, so we shouldn't talk anymore. Have a nice life. See you around. Was that a bad response? Or show us the text, okay? I want to see the receipts. At the last reunion, Nick and Vanessa Lachey pulled up all the receipts on Trevor and his communication with his girlfriend back at home. I want to see the receipts. Nevertheless, Taylor said she needed a minute, so she gets up to go and breathe, i.e. cry. Ashley follows her for moral support, and Ashley had the nerve to say, I understand this is a lot. He should have told you the full story because omitting information is still lying. And at this point, we ain't got time for that. And I was thinking, oh, girl, so you admit that Tyler omitted information about his 3 kids? Yeah, so Tyler's a liar? Y'all ain't got time for this? Are you preaching to yourself too? So then Taylor is crying. She's emotional. She's like, I don't know if I want to do this. He's supposed to meet my parents tomorrow. I don't know if I still want him to meet my parents. Taylor is thinking about throwing it all away, all because of this text from an ex. Drama, drama, drama. And she don't do drama. This is their first conflict the entire season. How is this going to unfold? I don't know, because there's more going on in the party and I got to get to it. Then we see Katie at the table with all the girls and she is talking about
Nick's cute. I told her, I was like, he's much cuter than...
No, he is.
Yeah. And I feel like that sounds bad, but I just said it, so.
How are you?
This is the 3rd time we've heard her say this. Hannah has not been saying none of that about him. She's been disrespecting this man. So in true fashion, Hannah turns to the emotional support friend, Ashley, and she decides to demean Nick some more. She's just talking about all these issues she has with him and he's not that mature, and she feels like she's actually really good for him because she's teaching him how to grow up and be a man, and a lot of these things he should know. So Ashley tells her, girl, you should probably show him some more of your fun side. She's like, you're right. You know, it's just so much that I have to work on with him. And even like in the bedroom, he just doesn't do a lot of things. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't care about my needs. You know, he doesn't go down under. It is just like dealing with an 18-year-old boy.
Bruh.
That is what it is like. He doesn't initiate anything. And I'm like, girl, is your objective to embarrass this man on national television? Because the cameras are picking up all of this. Side note, I saw her do an interview on the Nick Viles podcast, and she was just super apologetic. Like, I've learned so much about myself that was really hard to watch. And, you know, I wish more people would tell me about myself more often. And I've definitely learned and grown. And I'm like, no, don't interview her unless you're going to hold her accountable. She was evil this season. Nevertheless, that's why I was excited once Nick decided to have a conversation with Katie. So let's get to Katie and Nick. As this chat is happening, of course, super insecure Hannah is watching from a distance with Monica. They're having dialogue back and forth the whole time. What do you think they're talking about? Ooh, do they look happy over there? What is this? Why they gotta talk that long? Oh my gosh, isn't she supposed to be my friend? Do I want to fight her? But she's saying it in a joking way, right? It was a lot for Hannah to sit there and be calm and not go blow up the entire spot. So now in this conversation with Nick and Katie, they are all smiles at the table. They start talking about being each other's number ones before, and he's trying to get a feeling as to why it didn't work out.
When it comes to like maturity, I didn't think you were quite there. And I thought we like got to a good point, and then at the end of it, it was like my mom's friends like really fuck with me.
Yeah.
Like the older women really fuck with me, and I'm like, damn, he didn't hear a word I just said.
Yeah.
And I think like beyond that was just like the objectifying.
Yeah.
Like that one date you were like, oh, I just know you're sexy. I know you're this. I know you're that.
I'm sarcastic. I like to joke around. Like,
Katie is really great in the way that she communicates with him, because she points out a lot of the same things as Hannah as far as the maturity levels and how he was objectifying at one point in the pods, and that's what kind of turned her off. And she provides him with actually some really good constructive criticism.
I think you lead with your charm and your charisma
yeah.
too hard.
Okay.
I think you're such like a beautiful and a deep person.
Yeah.
Like I would challenge you to lead with that. Don't lead with like, I know you're so sexy. I think that's a defense mechanism, which is maybe coming from a place of insecurity. But I'm here to tell you, like, you are the whole package.
I saw it in Nick's eyes. He just wanted to break down and cry. You could tell. He has grown accustomed to somebody badgering him, somebody being Hannah. And for Katie to see past all of his charisma, she saw him as a person. She saw him as a human being. She saw the good, wholesome qualities about him. She remembered those things from their conversations in the pod. And so she was able to compliment him and encourage him to pull that out.
You guys are growing together, but you're also growing as a person.
I'm happy where I'm at. I've learned to mature and be socially aware and like be aware of the words I say.
I think the world of you. Like I literally tell Hannah all the time, like I can't wait to bro out with Nikki D.
Just invite me to a Ravens game, please.
Okay, we can do that.
If Hannah would speak to him like that and not speak down to him like he is less than her, she would get so much further. Nick, you made a mistake. You should have chose Katie. Or, Katie, why can't you tell him this in the pods? He would have pulled it together and we could have seen y'all as a couple. I want to see the after show. Bring Katie to the reunion. Is there an update? Are they dating now? Because I want them to be together. I'm going to just say it. They go together. Like, I don't know if they go together, but I want them to because I love their dynamic. Nevertheless, we have to get back to the text from an ex. Now, Taylor and Garrett, they are in a corner, and Garrett is still in hot water. Taylor, you can see the tears in her eyes. She's frustrated. She's like, how could you not tell me this? You're supposed to tell me things. Tell me everything. Don't leave anything out. How am I supposed to move forward? I don't know if I want to move forward. Garrett is getting a little nervous, like, dang, I know you can make whatever decision you want. That would hurt me tremendously. I want us to be together. I love you. I did make a mistake. I am so sorry. I should have just told you everything all at once. I don't know that he was trying to be deceptive. I can't figure him out. I don't know if he just got nervous. Okay, well, let me just tell her a little bit and not tell her the whole thing, because if she's already reacting this way, If I tell her the whole thing, she might just lose it. I don't know. But I do still like them as a couple. I do. I don't think that he had bad intentions. I don't think that he was trying to pull a Steven and, go to his local freak off. No. I do think that they're still good for each other. Hopefully they can go home and work this out. We will find out in episode 11. But this episode comes to a close because she tells him she just wants to go home. She's emotionally and physically drained. She wants to call it a night. And the episode comes to a close. Y'all let me know how y'all felt about this episode down below. I hope you enjoyed my review, rant, recap. Please like this video and subscribe, and I will be back for my review of Love is Blind Season 7, Episode 11.